Okay, so good afternoon, Miss, and good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to present our mini research. As you can see, the title is A Pragmatic Study of Politeness Strategies in WhatsApp Discourse, Lecture Students Interaction at English Education Study Program of University Patimura. So this research was conducted by Group 4. And next, please, Kesya. Okay, but before we start to show the result of our mini research, let me introduce our group members. Okay, so as you can see, the first member is Susi, Tiara, Anwar, Rumailili, which is myself, and the second one is Kesya, Mauren, Habel, and then the third is amelia, lausepa, and also Victor Manusama, and the last one is Takdir Latuconsina. Okay, so next, move to the materials. Kak, suaranya masih ini kemute.
Okay, for next, for slide one is background of the study. The use of WhatsApp has hyped communication patterns between professor and students from formal face-to-face interaction to digital communication in the English language education program at Patimura University. WhatsApp has become the primary tool for brief academic consultation, such as reminding lecture of class schedule, scheduling meetings, clarifying assessment, or requesting thesis guidance. However, text-based communication, like nonverbal cues such as voice intonation or facial experience, which increases the likelihood of misunderstanding in Indonesian academic culture, there is a natural high-power distance dynamic where students are expected to have deep respect toward their instructor. When communication via text EVL communication, a student must carefully employ Politeness strategies to balance the delivery of their message while maintaining a provide academic etiquette. This mini research observed how Unpati English major student from the 2023 cohort and lecture in interaction handle this digital etiquette and how social distance influences these language choices. Next, please. Okay, next to research question for number one. What type of polyphony strategies are employed by the English lecture English education student and lecture of University Patimura in their WhatsApp group message interaction. Number two, how do social distance and power dynamic shape the way these WhatsApp message are formulated by both the student and the lecturer. Next, objective of the study. To identify the type of polyphony strategy used by Unipati English education student and lecture in their WhatsApp group message interaction. Number two, to describe how social distance and power dynamics shape the way these messages are written. Next, move to methodology, or research design. A qualitative described research design is used in this small study. A qualitative described design is acknowledged and an individualist and highlight valuable methodology in academic linguistic and social research. Frida 2024 asked that in Kim et al. 2016, Sendelowski thousand years. A foundation expert in the field states the qualitative description is the design of choice when a simple, straightforward, unstructured account of a phenomena is described, allowing the research to examine phenomena in its natural state with low inferences interpretation because it focuses on addressing the who, what, how, and why of the text-based communication practice. This approach is special appropriate for this study. Kim et al. 2016 in it enables the research to record and precisely describe how undergraduate EVL student and lecturer natural formulate language and select Politeness strategies in their real-life digital interaction, as opposed to applying statics or highlight abstract theoretical consequential. Dolit et al. 2090. Next.
Okay, so I will continue data collection, ethical clearance and consents. The research here contacts the potential students from the class of 2023 or mix from class A and B and lectures to seek formal permission. The R will inform that their identify and the lectures identify will be strictly anonymous and data collection. The researchers are collecting share, screenshots, or export text histories or record a conversation in the class group of the students' active chat threads with their lectures. And data collection or perceived sampling, the researcher filter the submit text based on specific criteria. The text must be student and lecturer interaction or intended by them writing in English, bahasa or mixing, and contain clear interactions. Example requires scheduling or inquiries. A total from 2003 represent. Okay, next, please next. Guys, next. Okay, data analysis. To analyze the politeness strategies in the WhatsApp discourse. The researcher applies qualitative content analysis based on Brown and Levinson's 1987 politeness theory. The analysis follows step-by-step procedures. The first is data formalization and transcribing. The researcher reads through all 50 to any grader WhatsApp message reads multiple times to understand the full content of the digital interactions. The second is coding and category, categorizing. The text segments are coded and categories into four main politeness strategies: bold and record positive politeness, negative politeness, and off record any cultural adjustments such as double greetings are also flagged. And the third is tabulating. The categories data are organized into a data matrix table to visually map out which strategies are most frequently used by EFL students and how lecturers respond. And the four, interpreting and drawing conclusions. The researcher interprets the data by explaining the pragmatic reasons behind the choice of the strategies, linking them to factors like power distance and social distance within the uniparty context before driving the final conclusion. Next,
Okay. Okay, so
next, guys.
okay, so we move to the result. of the mini research. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, there is two representative findings that we can see both from students and the lecturers. So the first one, we can see on the left one. Okay, so on the left one, we can see that the students' message, we as the researcher found an overwhelming trends because most of the students' texts utilize negative politeness strategies, and this is three examples of the most using negative politeness strategies from the students. Okay, so in pragmatic study, negative politeness is not bad. It's not bad politeness. On the other hand, it refers to strategies used to avoid imposing on someone else's freedom. And also, the dominant characteristic we noticed include formal apologize. For example, like mohon maaf, mengganggu waktunya, then, and also the non-negotiable use of honorific like sir or ma'am, and long defensive explanation to avoid what we call face-threatening acts. And students try their hardest to remain submissive and respectful in the conversation with the lecturers in the WhatsApp group. And then we move to the right side. As you can see, this is the lecture strategy analysis. So a strong majority of lecturer messages relied on positive politeness. So it shows a completely different dynamic for lectures because most of the lectures message rely on positive politeness, and lectures frequently used in group solidarity markers. For example, like use of local terms like ade-ade or gangs in some lectures. Um, and this is and also they often switch completely to the Ambon dialect to soften a heavy academic demand. However, because they hold institutional power, lecturers also occasionally use bolt on record strategies, which means being incredibly direct or using all caps lock in the conversation when delivering urgent or strict instructions. So next, please, Kesya. Okay, so as you can see here, actually, our mini research, we compile 23 data from the participants, which is the group conversation within the students and lecturers. And this is the representative data matrix that I would like to explain or show for all of you. So as you can see from this matrix, there is a clear contrast in how both side communication, which is students always stay in the safe zone of formal apologize to avoid overstepping. Um, Meanwhile, on the other hand, lecturers have the freedom to shift the conversation or the use of words, but they can use warm local language to be friendly, but they can instantly switch to very direct and strict commands when they need to get when they need to get things done. And this is clearly shows who holds the institutional power in the chat or in the group chat. So that's all. Next. Next, please.
Okay. Next is influence of power distance or compare. So, according to the study, there is a our academic culture. So this power dynamic leads to drastically different communication patterns. So students being submissive and lecturers being authoritative. So for the first one is on the student side is submissive. So students is overwhelmingly rely on negative politeness because they occupy a lower institutional status. So they feel almost like every digital interaction as a potential threat or interruption. So this is consequently their messages always feature a rigid formal apologize like mohon maaf hanggang waktunya. So strict use of honorific like sir or ma'am, and defensive explanations to maintain academic and a safe social distance. And for the second one is on the lecture side or authoritative. So on the other hand, lecture hold the high power and they often try to reduce social distance by using positive politeness, such as switching to local Ambon dialect or using casual nickname like gangs or ade-ade, and to secure willing student or complaints. So due to their institutional power, they do not hesitate to shift to like both on record strategies. They will use like all caps to the text to enforce absolute like authority on final decision, and or even like use sarcasm to reprimand students who neglect their commitments. So in short, while students maintain a strict distance out of respect, lecturers freely use their authority to either bridge that gap through solidarity or enforce rules to directly.
Next, Victor.
Okay, thank you for the time that's given to me. Well, my part is the communication relationship is symmetrical due to a distinct power distance. The first ones we have students submissive, rely on negative politeness. They always use formal apologies like mohon maaf mengganggu, respectful titles like sir and ma'am, and formal language to maintain a safe distance. And uh, next, we have lectures authoritative. Alternate between positive politeness and bold on record strategies. They use local Ambon dialect or casual greetings like uh, gengs or adik-adik or maybe teman to bridge the social gap, but use the direct imperatives or all caps text to enforce authority. Next slide, please. Thank you. Well, the next part we have conclusion. Based on analysis of data above, it can be concluded that there is a fairly striking difference between the politeness strategies used by students and those used by the lecturers in interactions within the WhatsApp group. Students tend to use negative politeness more than frequently. This is evident in how students consistently begin messages with a formal apology, use polite forms to address in brackets sir or ma'am, and carefully construct sentences to avoid appearing intrusive or burdensome to the instructor. Conversely, lectures tend to rely more on positive politeness and bold on record strategies. Lectures often use informal nicknames or incorporate the local Ambon dialect to lighten up the mood. But they also do not hesitate to employ bold on record strategies in brackets, such as typing and all capital letters, or use sarcasm when reprimanding students. Next slide, please. Okay. For upcoming scholars, the methodological expansion, it is recommended that future researchers use a mixed methods approach to broaden the search design. Next one, hidden physiological effects of these text-based power dynamics may be discovered by combining qualitative content analysis with quantitative surveys or in-depth interviews. Third one, sample diversification. I'm sorry. Increase the data size across several cohorts or compare the digital etiquette of this English education program with non-language study programs to see if fields or study affect politeness selections. As this mini research was limited small purposes sample of 23 message threads from the 2023 cohort. The last one, I have examined whether the same dynamics of power distance and social distance also hold true in other formal learning management system in bracket, such as Google Classroom and Moodle, when compared to WhatsApp, more casual nature. Okay, that's all, I guess. That's all. Oh, thank you very much.
Okay. Um, okay, so I think that's all from our group, which is group 4. Thanks, Miss, for the time given to our group. Thank you also for listening and watching these videos of our presentation. And thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.